Hi, it's time for Saturday morning cartoon shows and other forms of comedic entertainment for your viewing pleasure, ladies and gentlemen.
America is fatter than ever. The numbers are hard to argue with. Obesity up in 31 states.
Another show about obesity in America.
Everybody. Okay, Jonathan, it doesn't bother you that the poorest states have the fattest people?
Terry, doesn't bother me at all.
Is that a fact? The poorest states have the fattest people.
I mean, if you want to see poor, go to Africa, okay? There's 800 million people in this world that are starving. And you know what? Those people would love a big, a KFC order and get a little heavy. I mean,
well, if you're poor in America, chances are that you have food stamps, which means you can eat lobster and caviar every damn night if you want, with some ice cream and pie for dessert, if you so choose. That would account for the fatness among the poor. And being that most poor people are unemployed, they spend a lot of time sitting around on their ass waiting for their food stamps and other government entitlements and subsidies to come in the form of a check in the mail. So the poor states are the fat states.
I consider America's affluence and its obesity to go hand in hand.
Oh, got it.
Right on, Jonathan.
And I have 3 kids, we drive by the McDonald's and I have 3 and it's all
We drive by, but we never eat. I never inhaled. I did not have sex with that woman.
I hate to admit it. And it's all about time and speed. And food is cheap.
Yeah!
And so that's definitely playing a role in it. Do I think we're all responsible for it? Absolutely. I think all of us have to take ownership of it.
Gotta stick together, right?
But it starts certainly with the schools. It starts with physical education. It starts with nutrition.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, for most of human history, the problem has been lack of food.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is in this country is that people eat too much. This is a major accomplishment. I mean, every starving African, guys, wants to be a fat American with a big old bucket of KFC.
Is it a major accomplishment getting diabetes or getting sick from those things? I mean, is that an accomplishment?
No, I'd rather have diabetes than distended belly with the fly across my face and 30 pounds body weight.
If Hillary becomes president, or Barack Obama, just think, man. Y'all can pay to unclog my arteries. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
But the reality is there's a little bit of truth in what Jonathan's saying, that an economy like ours is really bountiful, that we can produce so much cheap food. That's the measure of the greatness, not consuming it all to, obesity.
And I mean, look, of course America's a great country and everything.
But for most of you, it's much.
I've never eaten anything fried.
That's not we're a superpower.
We don't do Big Macs.
But there's a lot of other countries that would love to take that spot away from us. And Wayne, the presidential candidate Mike Huckabee points out that even our armed forces have a disproportionate amount of obese people.
Yeah, we have a bigger, fatter army than everybody else.
That may put us at a disadvantage.
Seeing that an army crawls on its stomach, I would say that our army's getting more food.
When people start legislating about personal habits, I just think that's the wrong area for the government to get into.
Even if the government has to shell out trillions to help people with diabetes and the like?
Well, the government shouldn't shell out trillions to help people treat diabetes or anything else.
If you have a national health care program, Wayne, then you will get the legislation like you're getting in Europe with this proposed
Jonathan,
fat tax.
I think you...
you know, all of a sudden they're going to say, well, you know, your diabetes is my responsibility. So if you want to eat the KFC, you know, we're not going to let you eat the KFC. We're going to, you know, put a tax on the KFC.
Jonathan, before you start blaming the government, let's not forget the government is one of the reasons food is so cheap in this country. Sugar and a lot of things would be a lot more expensive without the government subsidy.
The government is responsible for cheap junk food.
So, as to your point about cheap food, is the government's to blame, not that they're going to make it worse with the health care plans.
Wade, you want to hop in?
I just wanted to say that I don't think that, Jonathan, we don't have a health care system that encompasses obesity as a disease. By the way, you know, we've invented hundreds of diseases now.
And hundreds of different cheeses.
Now, when I was growing up, when you talked about, for example, attention deficit syndrome, they said, you're not paying attention. That's all. We're going to slap you one if you don't pay attention. You know, there's all of these things that we've invented. If you're going to invent those things and make the government responsible for them, you might as well give up.
Jonathan, you can still be thin and still have heart disease, Jonathan. You might want to lay off that KFC. I mean, seriously, it's a little early in the morning for all that grease.
It's a morning show. We never want anybody to see KFC in the morning.
And get a napkin. Alexis.
I'm gonna run after.
Licking your fingers. This is disgusting.
I'm gonna run after the show, so don't worry.
Acting like they've never touched this stuff. This little blonde here.
That's why they say finger licking good. This mouthful. Oh my God.
Yeah, and that little blonde there. They care about you so much by not allowing you to eat Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Alexis.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, we have really gone to a new level here, I think, eating the Kentucky Fried Chicken.
They're going to go have some right after the show.
But I think Wayne is right. The bottom line is we've got to start with the schools because it is an issue.
Yeah, they have to educate on nutritious food and then send you to the cafeteria to eat their slop.
And it's an issue not just for the health effects, but it's also an issue for healthcare in general.
See, once they're paying for your health care, they can tell you exactly what to eat and what not to eat, man. You better watch out.
What will the impacts be later on? So we do have to address it.
And, you know, Jonas, does it bother you that the fastest growing food segment in China is Kentucky Fried Chicken? They love the stuff. It's falling out of favor here, except with Jonathan. But
They should call this the Let's Pick on Jonathan show. Because Jonathan comes in and he says something true, and everybody bitches at him for saying what's true. Like, he says Kentucky Fried Chicken's good, and everybody bitches at him because he says it's good.
as countries industrialize, the poorer countries consume the fast food, not the richer ones.
What are you talking about? Where are all the frickin' fast food restaurants? In countries where people got money. Why would a McDonald's set up in Angola?
Hopefully our fast food companies will slow that economy down so we can catch up by fattening up the population.
Are you serial?
But there is look, people get heavier as they get richer. There's a little bit of truth to that. It's a luxury to be able to eat lots of junky food. We're making it available, but again, I think ultimately society has to control that just, you know, it is a sin to continue to eat into obesity, and I think that's where you're going to have an efficient economy, is being thin and having an abundance.
Okay.
Man.
Hey, Jonathan, this is your topic. I'm going to give
well,
you the final word.
you know, Terry, again, the most of human history, people have been starving, even people in this country. And what capitalism done, as to all of our guests' point, all of our panelists' point, is made a big bucket of KFC, which is a hell of a lot of nutrition, very cheap, affordable, and the fact that the poor or obese is a mark of accomplishment for this country.
It sounds twisted, but it's true.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed it. It was probably
Me too.
your calorie limit for the day. Thanks, everybody. Coming up.
In light of all the news stories, such as Hillary Clinton's boy Norman Shue being arrested, one of the Democrats' major bundlers. Do you know what a bundler is? The news people should be telling you what the hell is a bundler, and about how the Iranians are thick inside Iraq, not telling you anything about Syria. The topic of discussions on Fox News, which silly-ass liberals out there like to call a right-wing network, is fat people in America.